Hello, guys. Welcome back. Today we have the 10th thread of the 12 threads of Zenthai Shiatsu. The 10th one is contain your power, and it is associated with the water element in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. Here we go. We can unconsciously move into situations of helping another with good intentions, but have ideas to fix or solve the problem. This is the ego getting in the way and creating kinks in energy flow, which will often lead to leaking our own energy as we take things personally and make assumptions. To contain our power, we need to be mindful of moving from our hara energy center slightly below the navel and throw away the role of fixing to instead embody the role of exploring. This is not outcome based, but more so is involved purely on a flowing journey with a pure sense of empathy and detachment. A great thread to consider. I think that often in my life, when I was more unconsciously trying to fix people's problems, it was coming from a place of ego. I wanted to change them. I wanted to solve their problems. I wanted to be the agent that was creating the change in their lives. And over time, I have grown to step away from that. And I understand now that it is the people themselves who create the change in themselves, who heal themselves. My job or my task is simply to offer a space to create an environment where this transformation can be facilitated, right? I am just supporting someone in healing themselves. It's not my doing. I'm simply channeling energy. I'm simply holding space. I'm simply asking questions and letting people figure out their own answers. That is the true path of a healer, I think, right? We don't get involved with our egos in, oh, it's me who is making this person better, right? I am just offering a space where they can access their own innate healing abilities. And it's very seductive to want to take credit for changing another person's life or for facilitating healing in them. It's very seductive to think that you did that. It makes you feel good about yourself. It has made me feel good about myself for many years. But now I understand that actually it's a way more humbling experience if you can step aside and if you can truly detach from this egotistical need to want to be the cause of the change in another person's life. If you can be the change in your own life, learn to heal yourself, learn to access your own innate healing abilities, and then you can understand that actually it 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 gives back the agency to another person, right? They can learn to not be helpless, and they can actually access their own abundant resources of their own healing, their own abundant healing resources. And by stepping aside and by not trying to fix someone's problem, you actually give them back their agency, because it can become almost like a dynamic where they believe they need you in order to feel good or in order to heal themselves, and then they become really dependent. And that's a very seductive situation to be in. Sometimes it can be very seductive to offer your support in such a way that they start to believe that they need that support in order for them to be able to to carry themselves through life, and that makes you feel needed, right? That's been something that I've been very much subconsciously attracted to, this sense of being needed by other people, feeling needed by other people, because that justifies then my own existence. If other people need me, then I'm justified to exist. And if they don't, why am I here? And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to want to help people and to want to support them going through difficult times, or to offer them support or new insights or guide them through a specific process of transformation. But I think it's very important to not identify with that persona of I am doing the healing for them, right? I'm not doing the healing for anyone. I'm just trying to be kind, compassionate, to hold space, to pay attention, to validate what they're going through, and then people can actually access their own innate healing abilities, capacities. And so moving away from this more like dependent model to an interdependent model where we're both synergistically healing each other, really, right? Because if I can support someone accessing their own healing abilities, then that also helps me, enables me to access my own healing abilities. And it's a mutual healing that's happening. The person is healing themselves, but they're also healing me, and the other way around. So we are constantly exchanging healing energy together, and that makes this experience so transformational, right? And if you get involved too much with the ego, these more like dependent states start to arise, and you take away agency from people. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to take away agency from people. It feels good to be dependent on, and it feels good to have people think they need you. It's very seductive. And I've definitely been guilty of subconsciously looking for that kind of dynamic. But actually, it's way more fulfilling and way more challenging, way more humbling to understand that we have very little doing in another's person healing. We can only offer them a direction to go in, or offer them a question, or a direction to look in, you know, to inspire them to go inwards or to access specific parts of their psyche that can reveal things to them that are then very useful to transform them, right? So yeah, contain your power. Maybe it can also be translated as don't let your ego rule you too much. Ego is a healthy thing. It's important to to maintain a healthy sense of self in order to not get lost in everything that's happening around you. Ego is very important for us to be able to navigate this life. So I'm not against the ego. However, I think it's useful to at least think about where we take credit for something that's actually not ours to be accredited for, and to be humble in that, and to let go of this need to be performing, or to be the changing force in another person's story. That can be a very grand grand thing to want, step aside and be humble and offer support, but be humble in that, and focus on accessing your own healing abilities and capacities, and know that you are able to transform yourself, and in doing so you also allowing other people to do the same, and they are doing the same in return again. So it's a very beautiful mutually beneficial cycle, I think, when that happens. So yeah, those are my thoughts on today's thread. Only two more to go. I'm very excited, and yeah, let me know if it was helpful. And I hope to hear from you very soon. Take care.